The chains weren't the worst part. It was the silence. That heavy, suffocating silence that only exists in places where people are no longer considered people. The slave auction hall of Drakthal Station was carved from obsidian metal and cold light. Rows of cages lined the circular chamber, each one holding lives that had stopped belonging to themselves. I had been in 3 of those cages. Now I was in the 4th. My name is Ethan Cole. Or at least, it was. Right now, I was just Human Asset 117. A label, price tag, problem waiting to be sold. I wasn't supposed to be here. Smuggler job gone wrong. One bad deal in the outer colonies. One betrayal too many. Now I was the product. And the galaxy was shopping. The auctioneer stepped into the center platform. A tall, thin creature with translucent skin and too many eyes to look comfortable. Next acquisition, it announced. Human male. Moderate physical condition. High adaptability. Useful for labor, translation assistance, or entertainment purposes. The word entertainment made my stomach turn. Lights scanned my cage. The crowd leaned forward. Different species. Different empires. Same hunger in their eyes. I wasn't a person to them. I was utility. Bidding started. Fast. Cold. Detached. Credits exchanged like insults. I stopped listening after the 3rd bid. Then the atmosphere changed. You can feel it when power enters a room. It's not loud. It's absolute. The whispers started first. Then the silence returned. But this time, it wasn't empty. It was afraid. She walked in like she already owned everything. Tall, armored, draped in black gold ceremonial regalia that shimmered like liquid authority. A noblewoman, not just any. One of the Dravelian high houses. Feared, untouchable, politically lethal. Even the auctioneer hesitated. Lady Saris Vale, it said carefully. She didn't respond. Her eyes scanned the cages. Slow, methodical, like she was reading something only she could see. Then she stopped. Right in front of me. I froze. Because that was the moment I understood something very important. I was not being sold anymore. I was being chosen. Human, she said softly. Her voice didn't match her reputation. No rage, no cruelty, just precision. Stand. The guard unlocked my cage. Chains pulled me forward. I stumbled onto the platform like broken cargo. Up close, she was worse. Not in appearance. In presence. It felt like standing in front of a storm that had learned to think. She circled me once. Twice. Studying. Calculating. The auctioneer leaned in. Hi, lady. This unit is. I know what he is, she interrupted. Then she raised her hand. The final bid. Absolute. The hall went silent. No one challenged her. No one even tried. Sold, the auctioneer whispered. And just like that, my life stopped belonging to me. They escorted me through private corridors. No more cages. No more crowds. Just cold steel hallways and echoing footsteps. I expected pain. Interrogation. Something worse. But instead, she dismissed the guards and opened a door. Private chamber. Soft lighting. Warm air. Nothing like the rest of the station. I hesitated. She noticed. You are afraid, she said. Yeah, I replied honestly. That's usually how this part goes. She studied me for a moment, then did something I didn't expect. She removed her ceremonial gloves. Slowly, deliberately, like a ritual. And then she spoke. I did not purchase you for ownership. I blinked. That's usually what buying means. No, she stepped closer. I purchased you to remove you from the market. My brain stalled. I'm sorry, what? Her expression didn't change. I have been tracking this auction network for cycles. You are not the first human taken. But you are the first I could reach without triggering a political collapse. I frowned. This is some kind of rescue? She nodded once. Yes. I let out a short laugh. A broken, disbelieving sound. By buying me? It was the only method the system would permit. I stared at her, trying to decide if I was still a prisoner, or just in a different kind of cage. So what now? I asked. You free me and I just… What? Walk out. She paused. For the first time, unsure. No, she said quietly. You are not safe outside this station. My stomach dropped. So I'm still trapped. She shook her head. No. A beat. I am offering you protection. I narrowed my eyes. From what? She turned slightly, and for the first time, her voice lowered. From the people who sold you. Silence. That changed everything. Because suddenly, the auction wasn't the end of my story. It was the middle of something much worse. You are valuable, she continued. Not as property. As evidence. My throat went dry. Evidence of what? Her gaze locked onto mine. Cold. Sharp. Absolute. A trafficking network that operates across 7 systems. I exhaled slowly. So you're saying I'm bait? No. A pause. You are a witness. That was worse. I stepped back instinctively. So what? I just stay here forever? She hesitated again. Just for a fraction of a second. Then, no. Her eyes softened slightly. You stay here until I dismantle it. I laughed again. But this time, there was no humor in it. You really think you can take down something like that? She looked at me like I had asked if the sky could fall. I already have, she said. From the inside. That was the moment I realized. She hadn't just bought me. She had declared war using me as the trigger. Days passed. Then weeks. I stayed in the chamber. Not a prisoner. Not exactly a guest either. Something in between. She visited often. Sometimes to check on me. Sometimes just to stand silently near the window, watching distant ships move through the station's orbit. We talked. Slowly. Carefully. I learned she wasn't just a noblewoman. She was a strategist. A ghost in political systems. A blade hidden inside diplomacy. And she learned something about me too. That I wasn't broken. Just tired. One night I finally asked her, why me? She didn't hesitate. Because you survived long enough to be bought. I frowned. That's not exactly flattering. It is accurate. I leaned back against the chair. And after all this? After your war? She turned to me, and for the first time, her expression wasn't cold. Then you will be free. I studied her. And you? A pause. A rare one. I will no longer need to buy anyone. Something in that answer stuck with me. Because it wasn't just about me. It was about everything she had been forced to become. The final breach came.